Audio Jungle.
Hello friends, I'm Dr. Radhika Kelkar. I'm a psychiatrist in Maharashtra. Welcome to this channel. On this channel you will find videos regarding psychology and children about child psychiatry. So in continuity with the previous video that I spoke about, in this video I will be talking about the second stage of Erik Erikson's theory of development.
Audio Jungle.
You can check out my first video to get an idea about it. So this stage, the second stage, is about developing a sense of independence in a child versus developing a sense of shame or doubt. Like Erik Erikson says that there comes a stage in life that is from 1.5 to 3 years of age when whatever things that happen around the child decide whether he will be confident in his later years or he will have some thoughts of doubt or a feeling of shame in him. So how does that exactly happen? We see many people in our practice, we see quite a few people who have this sense of shame, or even if they are alright, they are completely okay, there is nothing wrong with them, still they carry a sense of shame or guilt in their mind, and even they don't know that where is this exactly coming from. So if you listen to this theory and if you know this theory, people who have some sort of shame in their mind might know that where is this coming from. So we will be discussing about the theory in the next part of the video.
Audio Jungle.
So talking about the theory, if you are a parent or if you have ever interacted with a child who is as young as maybe 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, you will observe that they have this urge, or they have this willpower to express themselves. They begin to express their need for becoming independent. They want to be independent, they want to do things independently, they want to do things on their own, and they want to in general have control over whatever is going on around them, and whatever little world of theirs, they want to have control over things. So like my daughter, who is for example maybe just she's little less than 3 years old. So in daily life I observe her and notice that sometimes she wants to, she insists that she wants to do things on her own. For example, sometimes she says that I want to put soap while bathing, I want to put soap on my own, I don't want you to put it. Sometimes when she's going for a ride on a bicycle, she insists that nobody should hold her and she should be on her own on the road, and she should be driving on her own. Sometimes she's picky about what she wants to eat. So these things are very common, and this usually happens when the child is growing up. So in this stage, talking about this stage, we will discuss that I hope it guides parents who are in doubt that what should be their ideal response to such things. When the child insists on doing something independently, what should be the favorable response to support the development of your child? We are going to talk about in this theory, because sometimes it's really tough that if you're in a hurry or you want to get things done and your child says that no, I want to do it myself, then it becomes really tricky for the parent that in what way he or she is supposed to answer the child, or what she's exactly supposed to do in such a situation. So this theory will, I think, address this issue and be a guiding light for people who are having doubts about it.
Audio Jungle.
So during the previous stages, we saw that the child develops trust if the environment around him is consistent and stable, that we saw in the first video. And as they progress, it is important, and it is very important for young children to assert this need for independence, because it is something normal, and which is, if something like that is happening to your child, if your child is behaving in such manner, you should be really proud of it, and you should be congratulating yourself that he is developing really normally, and you should be happy about it. So, the important tasks that come up in this stage are first of all, there is toilet training. That is a big issue, which that is one of the major issues that comes up during this age. So, it is important for the child to develop control in this area, because learning to control potty or susu leads to development of a sense of independence, that I can manage my own things, I can manage my daily activities. And there are several other things also, for example, like choices over what the child wants to eat, or what the child wants to wear, what the child likes or dislikes. Your child might voice their opinion about what they are liking to do or what they are not liking to do. Sometimes they want to decide that what they want to play with, or sometimes they want to decide what they want to wear at a particular period of if there is a particular function they have to attend. So these things, so it is important to note that it can be really frustrating at times. For parents, it is sometimes frustrating that giving in to such demands or listening to your child all the time, it is a little frustrating. It takes a little bit of time, but then if you let him do that, it will lead to developing a sense of control in him, and he'll develop a sense of autonomy, he'll develop a sense of confidence, and he'll learn to be independent, and he will not have this sense of shame or doubt later on in life if he has to decide on something. So it is really important that you encourage him to do that. You encourage him to make a choice, you encourage him to let him do whatever he wants to do. So what parents can do to encourage success in this stage, that is what we will discuss in the next part.
Audio Jungle.
So talking about what parents can do to encourage their children, now there are a number of things that parents can do to ensure that the child is having success in this stage, by providing opportunities for the children to be independent, allowing them to make the clothing choices or food choices. For example, letting him or her try and wear clothes. If your child is insisting that I will be wearing the clothes, do not help me. So you should be encouraging and not dismissive towards this demand of your child, because that will lead to a sense of independence in the child. Also, you should encourage them to ask for help instead. Instead of just helping him right away, you can teach him to ask for help. In case he gets stuck at some point, you can always say that I am there to help you out. So if you cannot do it, ask my help. I will help you out. So this type of reassurance and being there for them will definitely help them. And also you can reassure them by saying that they've done a good job, even if it's not perfect. This praise or this input from the parents definitely helps children. So regarding potty training, being supportive during that, and not being very punishing or very punitive regarding any accidents, any potty accidents, or then not getting irritated because of the mess created by it, helps the child develop a sense of independence and develop a sense of support. So instead of being irritated or instead of being very stubborn about the child should learn potty training at a particular period of time, you should give your child correct amount of time and support to develop that control on his own. Also, offering surroundings where the child can explore on his own and play independently without any danger also helps, because instead of constantly guiding or keeping an eye or being behind the child, if you can provide a surrounding where the child can play freely, will always help for him to gain that independence. So in short, offering reassurance and having faith in your child's abilities is what is crucial for the development of a sense of autonomy and confidence. So on the other hand, parents who are sometimes negative or who punish children for simple mistakes or some small things done by the child, they contribute to a feeling of shame and doubt. So if you are supportive and if you are encouraging, that will create independence. And if you are very punitive, if you are very punishing, or if you are very critical for small things, that can create self doubt in your child, because control that is exerted too strongly or rigidly, that really does not help your toddler develop his own controls. And that is something that should be kept in mind always. And at the same time, there should be some control, because if the child is not mature enough to take major decisions, like if you see for example the bicycle example, if your child does not want you to hold the bicycle, but you can see that there is danger coming up, and if you don't hold at that particular time, your child is going to face an accident, some major accident. So at that time you have to intervene, at that time you have to interfere without your child's permission, because that is something dangerous for his life. And if not intervened, it can have really disastrous results. So at such points you have to intervene, but not when there is no danger, or it is okay if you can wait and just sit back and just watch your child do things. You should make sure that most of the times you are just waiting back and waiting for the child to do things instead of intervening repeatedly. So this stage, Erikson says, decides whether your child will acquire traits like being able to voice his opinions calmly and quietly, or having a tendency of insisting that my way is the only way, that because he has seen adults doing that to him all the time. So it is a deciding factor what trait your child picks up. Also, it is a deciding factor whether your child will have self-expression, or he'll be complying to people all the time, because that is what he was used to doing when he was a child, because he had to comply to adults all the time. So his nature or his personality becomes that sort, that he becomes compliant to everything, he becomes a little submissive.
Audio Jungle.
So the virtue that we talk about in this stage is developing a sense of autonomy versus developing a sense of shame and doubt. So as parents, we should keep these things in mind while dealing with toddlers, and also remember that these stages are can also be completed later on in life. Because it's not necessary that if your parents were something like this, they were somewhat punitive, you might have become submissive, but then there are always chances that you will cover up later on in life. These stages are not fixed, they can be completed later on also in life. So our personality is quite fluid that way, and we can bring upon changes even later on in life by evaluation and analysis of our personality. So that is not something to be worried about, that if such things have happened with you or with your child, it will remain like that only. It's not like that. It can change also. It can change by some effort. So do not worry about the negative, negative points, whatever I said. So do not worry much about getting stuck at one of the stages. So this was about the second stage of Erik Erikson's theory of development. See you in the next video. Bye bye.